Welcome into episode 10 of the Galactic Window. This is going to be a pre-recorded audio-only episode. My name is Tan, and my co-host, Nick here. We're going to talk about the Perseids Meteor Shower and what it means to us, what our plans are, and how you can see it from your backyard. So grab a drink, some snacks, and let's jump right in. This is episode 10. This is double digits for us, Nick. How do you feel?
Double digits, man. That's right. We've made it. We've arrived.
This is huge. So we're pretty excited. While you guys are listening to this, tomorrow, Nick will be embarking on a trip for the meteor shower, right?
That's right, man. I am going to be hopping in my car and embarking on a voyage north of the border to Canada. I'll be visiting Justin with High Hopes Aurora. And for those of you who are veteran listeners, I believe he was episode 3 of the Galactic Window, our guest that we had. And I got to talk with him all about his experience chasing Northern Lights, Aurora, particularly up in Canada. He's an expert and he's amazing. So I've coordinated with him. I booked this trip, earlier this year. It's been 5 months or more. I started talking about it with him in November of 2023, not long after I recorded with him. And it was such a cool idea. I was like, no, I'm making this happen. So it's finally here. This is the trip. I'll be going up there to chase Aurora. But the bonus is that I'm going to be also seeing Perseid meteors, possibly right through Aurora. So cross your fingers that I'll be seeing a lot of meteors in my photos as I capture Aurora all throughout the night for a couple nights.
Dude, that's going to be such an incredible experience to, have the Borealis on one area of the sky. And then, both the Perseus, the constellation of Perseus, also sits pretty close north as well. So that sounds like the perfect opportunity to get the wombo combo shot.
That's right. Yeah, dude. I mean, do you want to explain a little bit about how meteor showers work and, what it means, like why Perseus is tied into this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you guys that are listening, the Perseids is arguably one of the best meteor showers of the year. All right. It's an annual shower, and that just means every year you can go out around the same time. And typically they peak around August 11th to the 13th each year. But basically what you're seeing is debris left over from a comet. This specific meteor shower, you're seeing debris from the comet Swift-Tuttle. So whenever these pieces of rocks and ice and a little bit, or some as, a little bit of debris, some as tiny as a grain of sand, when they burn up in our atmosphere, they create these bright streaks of light. And we call them, shooting stars. So this is just an incredible thing to watch. I always like to say it's kind of like watching nature's fireworks because they're so beautiful. And the radiant point, or the point where the meteors seem to appear from, is going to be from Perseus, which is why we call them the Perseids. Now, they're super awesome. They're really known for their bright characteristics and even slow meteors. And they're often known to produce, 60 to 100 meters per hour during the peak. And this is under ideal conditions, of course, darker skies, minimal light pollution. But in short, it's just a great show. And if you have never seen it, or if you have already, maybe watched the show before, this is just a friendly reminder to pack up, try to get away from some lights, from the city lights, and just enjoy one of nature's shows.
Dude, real good information there. You are kind of also one of the resident meteor masters in the astro community, aren't you? Like, at least on TikTok, you do meteor shower live streams. So you've seen a ton of meteor showers, right?
Yeah, meteor showers are something that I fell in love with in 2020. And ever since then, I make it every bit of a priority to watch them if I can.
One of my favorite stories of you, I'm pretty sure we talked about when you were a guest on the show a while back, was like referencing the countdowns that you do while you're streaming on TikTok. You live stream meteor showers, right? And you get to do these fun little countdowns. Do you want to tell the T Swift story again, just for people who may have missed that one? Because I always love that, how it ties into meteor showers.
Yeah. It's actually ironic that you mentioned that, because literally, I think 15 minutes before we started up this podcast, I just posted a video about that specific thing and going into detail on how it all happened. But
No
for
way.
you, yeah, dude, you'll have to check it out. But for the listeners there, I'll kind of briefly explain how I do my live streams on TikTok, and then I'll tie in the Swifty story. So, um, on TikTok, I enjoy stargazing, and when I discovered that I can actually bring the stars to people from all over the world, it became kind of this obsession, and it became a thing that I really enjoy doing regularly. So basically, I have a digital night vision camera. It's called the Aurora Pro, made from this company Psionics. Really awesome. But basically, I just have my iPhone hooked up to the eyepiece of the night vision camera, and then that allows me to actually show people during the live stream the stars in real time. So this is a really awesome opportunity for me to watch a meteor shower, but also have hundreds and sometimes thousands of other people along for the ride. So what we do during these streams is I periodically will turn off the comments because sometimes the chat just gets really crazy. Everyone's talking, and then next thing you know, like we're just talking about food, and like no one's actually watching the screen, right? So we tend to miss a lot of the meteors. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the comments, and we will do a countdown, typically from 10. So I'll go 10, 9, 8, and so on. And during this time, I try my best to encourage the viewers to basically just watch the screen, like, and a lot of these times, we will actually catch meteors during the countdown, and it's kind of a goal of mine to catch a really nice one at the end of the countdown. But there was one night in particular, I don't remember what meteor shower or if it was just a random night, but someone in the chat was like, "Hey man, will you dedicate the next meteor to Taylor Swift?" And it was such, yeah, it was such a random thing. I'm like, sure, let's do it. So that's what we did, and you guys will have to check out the video. But basically, I was like, all right, guys, we're gonna dedicate the next shooting star to T Swift. Here we go. Let's get this countdown going. And then as soon as I start the countdown, I said 10. In the middle of the screen, this huge meteor just streaks right to left. And it was such an incredible moment because I knew that everyone in the chat was watching. It was something that you just couldn't have predicted. It was so random and it was so perfect. My woo side of me likes to say that, somehow we manifested it. But it's been one of the most incredible experiences during my live streams. And my only gripe is that I don't think Taylor Swift has seen this yet, and we've tried tagging her. So if you guys are listening, find that video, and we need the Swifties to see this ASAP.
Yes, we do. We absolutely need to do that. So if you're listening to this, find Tan's video, and you know your job. It's to go into the comments and tag Taylor Swift and make sure that happens. Also, make sure Taylor Swift listens to the Galactic Window. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Dude, that would be insane. She's our biggest fan.
I think so. Yeah. Well, if we end up with like 6 million followers, or 6 million listeners to the podcast next week, we'll know why. She'd be promoting it on stage,
yeah,
like she does.
Suddenly we're sponsoring like her albums for out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. Some of your meteor pictures are still grabs going straight on her album art.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I love when you do those countdowns because there's been so many times where I've been a viewer of your live streams and I'll just sit there at whatever hour of the night. Maybe I'm in bed and I'm just watching and these countdowns happen and it's just so mesmerizing. Yeah, meteor showers are just absolute marvels and they're free. It's like a free fireworks show wherever you are, right?
Mm-hmm. And like the best part about it is every single person that's listening right now can easily, from their backyard, for the most part, watch this. And like what I mean is, there are certain conditions that will make or break your experience. One of them, the most important one, is probably light pollution, right? And what I mean is, if you live in the city, let's say you live in the heart of like Chicago, or you're in Boston, LA, technically, yeah, you can go outside and you can look north towards Perseus, but you're only going to see the really bright ones. All the average to faint meteors, you're just going to simply not be able to physically see because of light pollution. All those city lights, all the gas stations, and your neighbor's lights, all of that really makes it tough to see. So ideally, you want to get to some darker skies. On top of that, the moon is also a big source of light pollution. So, for example, let's say the radiant point is directly next to a full moon. Um, I mean, that's going to make it really tough to see. But that's not to say that, you know, I wouldn't like it's not worth watching. So for those of you guys that are listening, this year we do have a not a full moon, a half moon. It's a roughly 45% moon, which is pretty bright. But the good news is that it's going to be completely opposite to where you need to look. Perseus is going to be towards the northeast. The moon is going to be behind you towards the south. So you don't even have to worry about looking that way. And on top of that, the moon is going to set around midnight. So once 12 o'clock hits, it is going to be completely dark and it is fair game to catch hopefully some fireballs in the sky. And, if you don't know where to look, I recommend using astronomy apps. There are hundreds of them. And whether you're on iPhone or Android, you can go on the market and find tons of these apps. I really like Stellarium or Sky Safari, but if you just type in, Stargazer app or something like that, you'll find plenty of them. And I'll show you where to find them.
Yeah, dude, I use Stellarium. It's fantastic. I think I've been using it since like 2009. So it's like the old faithful, and it's just like super functional and easy to use. But now they've made it so much better than it used to be, and it's great. So yeah, all those apps like assist your backyard astronomy, even if you know nothing about it. They can curate. They're kind of like a museum tour guide, so to speak. Like they can help you find stuff and navigate. And it made me think, as you were talking too, about the different types of meteors that one can see during a meteor shower as good as the Perseids. Like a lot of times, like meteors are just essentially these little lines. They just kind of whiz by. They're these tiny little zips that just like, maybe like the length of your finger at full arm's length up in the night sky. It's just a little white line that kind of appears for a second. But there's, of course, different types of meteors as they happen. You can see a fireball, which is a much more, it looks like it's an incendiary object. It's burning up. You can actually see that a little bit more, which maybe perhaps indicates that it was a larger piece of space debris. And then there's like a higher tier of meteor called a bolide. Dude, have you ever seen a bolide?
Just once. The mother of all meteors.
Ooh. Where were you for that?
I was out somewhere. I don't remember what shower it was, but I saw it on the horizon. And this one actually like split into multiple pieces. I don't have footage of it, but it was just something that I saw on the corner of my eye, and when I looked back, it just kept on going. And if you guys have ever seen one, it is truly the craziest thing to see. It really is. And sometimes they'll light up the entire sky. If there are clouds around, you'll see them, shine on the clouds too. So it's pretty incredible.
Right. And based on the composition, like the atomic composition of the particular piece of debris, it'll burn possibly a different color, right? Because they like copper will burn green or whatever. And I can't remember like magnesium and all these other things, like they burn different colors, just like in science class in high school, and you like burn stuff over a Bunsen burner, like that happens. And it's so cool because you can kind of tell if you get to see it happen with your eyes, or if you record it or take a picture of it and you see a different color, you can kind of identify loosely what the material was. But I saw one bolide as well. This was probably maybe about like 8 or 9 years ago. I was driving home from work, probably about 10 p.m. and I was sitting at a stoplight, and I just happened to be zoning out, waiting for the light to turn red, and straight ahead, probably about 10, 15 degrees up in the sky, which is not far up from the horizon, I saw a giant green bolide just like soar across, and it was this huge thing. So it probably was over Wisconsin, because I live in northern Illinois. So like based off of my guess, that was probably over south central Wisconsin, somewhere around there. And it was like a what did I just see? Like, did anyone see that? I was looking around. I'm like trying to like look at see if there are any other cars, but it was night, so like there was not really many people. But I happened to be looking up. Like if I had been zoning out the other direction, I would have missed it. Or if I had turned half a second earlier, or the light turned green, I would have missed it. But it's so cool when you're in the right place at the right time. And of course, I would consider yourself lucky to see it, let alone capture one on photo or video at any point. But yeah, keep an eye out for the different varieties of meteors that you can see throughout the night if you get to watch like the Perseids or something, perhaps, or like the Geminids in December. There's so many different things. And even the little ones are exciting because they're sneaky, right? Like you can just barely see them. And sometimes they're in your peripheral vision and you have to guess, like, did I actually see that? Or was
Yeah.
was that my eye like playing a trick on me,
Yeah, sometimes you blink and you miss them. That's such a special moment for you to catch, man. You literally could have been looking uh, any direction in the sky at any given time of the night, and here you are at a red light, and you happen to look up and you see it. What a special thing to see.
Dude, for real. Yeah.
A
Yeah, it was
bolide
like,
too, not even just a regular shooting star, like a huge one. So
yeah.
cool.
It was like right above the stoplight. So like that, if you're sitting at an intersection and you imagine like how high the opposite stoplight is, it was like kind of like right at that level. I'm not trying to remember if it was above or below. Because my brain is getting foggy now, but it was around that area, that altitude in the sky. I did have one other capture that was cool. I've only captured a few meteors on video. They've been kind of accidents. They're typically accidents. I'm never really like out trying to. I feel like the few times I've tried to shoot meteors, I'm never successful. I'm usually
Mhm.
shooting something else. But during a lunar eclipse a few years ago, I took a photo. It was a wide field or wider field image. I was like using a 35 millimeter lens, capturing the lunar eclipse and the Pleiades star cluster in the same shot.
Oh, nice, dude. That's sick.
It was a super cool shot. And I had started the exposure just after a meteor went through, and I didn't know it until I was going through my photos later. Had I
Mm.
so what I noticed was in this exposure, which was several seconds long, there was a squiggly vapor trail, like a smoke trail.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So like sometimes, and you can see this with your eyes on occasion, when a meteor goes through, you'll notice ionization in the atmosphere. Like it'll start glowing, and it leaves this little like lingering trail. And it's basically like aurora. It's like a mini aurora that's happening because it's charging the particles in that, like the particular atoms in the atmosphere. So like that's what I captured in this image, was like the dust and smoke trail of something combusting, and that was blowing away. So it kind of became squiggly and inconsistent. And then there was a little bit of a glow in the image because it ionized the atmosphere. So it was like a super cool capture. Have you ever captured like a dedicated still image that wasn't like a live stream of a meteor?
I have, but like they're archived somewhere. Like I
Mhm.
have always um, enjoyed the real time footage more. But I know for sure, like if I sift through some of my time lapses, every once in a while you'll see this very distinct looking, like it's almost like a diamond in the sky, like a really long diamond, and you can tell that it's a meteor. And yeah, sometimes they leave these really gnarly trails, and you can even see the trails moving in the time lapses too. It's like this little smoke that kind of just moves around. So cool, so cool.
Isn't it kind of like after a firework explodes? Like if you look closely, you can see the little puff of smoke that's lingering, but you usually are watching it blow away. Like it's kind of the
Yes,
same thing, right?
exactly. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, so I mean, I'm so pumped, and for everyone listening, I really hope that if you have never watched the Perseids before, you take this as a sign, because it's just gonna it's such an incredible thing to witness. And you know, if you want to maybe impress your significant other, or you just want to do something fun with your family, your pet, or you just even for yourself, this is a really good opportunity for you to go out and just witness one of the most incredible things. And for me, similar to the eclipse, once I discovered um, awesome celestial events like this, it's never been the same. Like every year from now on until like I get old and pass, I'm gonna make every bit of effort to try to watch the Perseids. It's something that I will plan trips around, and I'll make. It's such a cool thing to see. So, dude, you're gonna be up in Manitoba watching Northern Lights during the shower, I'm actually heading out to Northern California, and I'm going to be up in Southern Humboldt County. So, Bortle 1, 2 skies. We're both going to hopefully have an awesome show. And I really hope that everyone listening will also have clear skies and just a nice show as well.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I certainly hope that every single one of you listening, do get a good opportunity, and we'll be right there with you. So if you, of course, want to share your experience with people, be sure to tag us in your posts. Like if you capture a photo or a video, or you just have a text post or something that you're like, I actually saw it. I saw the Perseids for the first time, or this was my first time actually sitting and watching a meteor shower. Be sure to tag Chasing the Milk and the Orbital Alliance. Let us know. We want to hear your stories.
Yeah, find us on TikTok, Instagram, and I'm serious. If you guys have any photos or any clips of any meteors, please tag us. I mean, I am obsessed with meteors. It's part of my blood. And if you guys didn't know, I'm also working on compilations. So I've been trying to basically film meteor showers and kind of condense them into a digestible video for you guys to watch. So this year, I plan on having a bunch of my cameras rolling, and hopefully we'll have some really nice meteors.
Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 10 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. We hope that you learned something about space and are excited to go out and watch the Perseid Meteor Shower for yourself. If you want to catch up on past episodes of the podcast, be sure to hop on over to the Orbital Alliance YouTube channel, where you can find every episode leading up to this point. Episode 11 of the podcast will be airing on August 12th at 9 p.m. right here on YouTube, so be sure to tune in for that. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you all on the other side.